May 4th, 2009. This is Diehard Gamer Radio Show 68.
Now French free.
And balanced.
You are approaching the target of attack. Your mission starts now. Are you ready? The countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, go!
You are listening to Diehard Gamer Radio, the source for off-mainstream video game news and topics. And now, your hosts, Murdock, Brian, John, and Steve.
Just a couple more shots.
Thanks for that. Well, welcome back to Diehard Gamer Radio. I am one of your hosts, Murdock.
One of your hosts.
What was your name
One
again?
of your
Do you
Murdock.
know your name? I'm
Murdock.
sorry, sir. You're gonna have to perform a test and walk in a straight line.
Yes, he is one of our hosts.
No more plum wine for you.
I'm hosts.
I just realized that same line would work just as well were you introducing yourself to your parasites.
Yes, I am one of your hosts.
That's not going to be the Photoshop of this episode, by the way.
Hi-yo!
I was really disappointed we did not have a Dos Equis Photoshop.
Well, I
Last time
didn't
around.
feel like Photoshop and all that. It takes effort and time, both of which I'm in short supply of right now.
Effort and time?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of either.
Not a lot of ether.
That's why he's going so slow.
But however will we travel between the stars?
Well, that's a good question.
One of these days,
I'm gonna say that for the next
I'll
show.
be well respected. That will be the last podcast episode.
That's why he's doing the podcast by himself.
Uh,
God, I love me. Yeah. No retorts?
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
Me.
so with me is Brian, Steve, and John.
And if you hadn't figured that out by now, seriously, where have you been for the last 68 episodes?
Listening to the Maxim podcast.
67.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're one ahead of yourself there. Unless you're
67
listening to this
and,
one and then you're with us still. so.
67 in 4 minutes.
Yeah. So
It's a bouncing baby podcast.
what are you going to call it? Diehard Gamer Radio. Well, he's going to get beat up near the playground.
No
I mean,
respect.
come on.
It's not going to fit on any of the standardized test forms.
Yeah.
He's gonna grow up to be a young Christian Slater with a podcast of his own.
Ah. So do we have anything to share before we start on the news?
It's the last podcast for a while.
Oh, yeah. Steve is moving. He'll be shifting to a different temporal plane.
Changing my vibration frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Which alternate universe are you hoping for?
Well, the one with the boobs.
Just everywhere?
Yeah, I heard about the one with the boobs on Aqua Teen Hunger Force last night. So
And courtesy of Bakadon, he says, "Happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you."
Ow.
How much did that hurt, John?
Well, I wonder how it can be happy, fourth day, whatever, when you've got, 12 of them a year. Is there anything special about April 4th that makes it the 4th day?
well, it'd be
Well,
May
you can't
4th.
say April the 4th be with you.
It'd be May the 4th be with you. You get it?
Yeah.
It
I
hurts
think you
more
only
now,
got half
doesn't
of
it?
that now.
Hurts more than it did.
It's
a couple
the one that
seconds
stings
ago.
again and again.
So I guess we'll go to the news. Let me
Oh God.
break out this really important sheet.
This just in.
that was totally professional there.
That was.
It was.
This just handed to me.
Let me unfold it.
This is No Gnu's is Good Gnu's with Gary Gnu.
Because apparently we still use paper here. That's just how backwards we are.
We are fairly backwards. What with our, we'll have to now get one of the 8.5 by 11 size Kindles and have the schedule on those.
When they say print is dead, I shake my paper in front of them.
Are you done?
Get off my lawn.
Well, we got get a haircut, get off my lawn. How about some news?
Okay.
Get
So-
some news. Get
That
off
too.
my...
We're killing newspapers by doing podcasts. All right. So our first news is King of Fighters Sky Stage announced, which would interest probably just me and Brian.
Is it actually going to be a new King of Fighters or an old one with more letters on the end?
It's a King of Fighters shmup.
Huh.
Sorry you're asked now, didn't ya?
Aren't you?
Alrighty then.
top down vertical, very Esprade-ish, for those who know what that game is.
I don't know what King of Fighters has to do with shmups, but I
Well,
guess
they
we'll
also
find
came out with like a dating sim or something with Athena. Or
I did just read recently that they're working on an MMO.
I saw that.
Well, not an MMO, but more of an RPG. So it'd be kind of more, I don't know, Final Fantasy-ish.
Didn't
There's-
they do that collectible card game with King of Fighters?
Yeah, that was just a card game. This is actually gonna have characters that come in and battle each other and knock off points and
Yeah,
level
all,
up.
all of that makes more sense than a shmup.
Yeah,
How do they
Yeah.
fly, for one?
I don't know. Maybe they have. Big
Well,
vehicles or
I guess
something.
it's the same power that they use to produce fireballs from their hands.
Well, yeah,
Just
Yeah.
continual fireball producing.
yeah,
Pretty much.
out of their ass.
Well, they
Maybe
do
a-
that, then they just need to have them all be naked and call it what?
Yep.
Choaniki 4, is it? Would that be the
5, 6.
How many naked guys do you need to see fly shooting God knows what from where?
0?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And please do not mention Chaonika again. Thank you. All right. So apparently Lego Rock Band was confirmed. I guess we should care because
we like to rock out with our block out.
Yay.
Did they say what the song list is going to be?
No.
They're kind of stiff on that one.
Well, let's see.
The build a rocker mode could be interesting.
I'm really curious about that.
Would you use Microsoft points to buy special blocks?
I don't see how these two games go together, but I don't know.
Well, I guess it's like Tycho said. It's not for us.
Yeah. Yours is not to understand why, it's to do or die. And rock.
and buy.
Yeah.
And speaking about musical games, apparently Guitar Hero Van Halen.
Dumbest
which-
idea ever.
I don't know. That might actually bring
Dumber
me
than
back.
Lego Rock Band?
Yeah, it is pretty bad. Because, like, hey, we're going to do a thing featuring a guitar virtuoso and use 5 buttons.
Yeah.
Not really.
On that
seeing
side,
the
it's
point.
bad. On the other side of getting to sing all the Van Halen songs, very cool.
Well, they could just put it in SingStar then.
Yeah,
but
but you don't get
Americans
the
don't
band
buy
experience.
SingStar.
Oh, I see.
Americans don't buy SingStar.
Oh, that's right.
I'd be
We-
much
we-
more excited about buying it for Rock Band.
We would
though.
need to be German to buy SingStar.
It's very Euro.
So with all these Guitar Heroes, we have what? Guitar Hero, Metallica,
Aerosmith.
right? Aerosmith.
World
Now-
Tour.
Beatles,
1, 2,
Oh, wait,
and
no, isn't
that's
that
Rock,
Rock
Band.
Band
That's
Beatles?
gonna be
Rock
Rock
Band,
Band.
Beatles.
Yeah.
And then Guitar Hero.
They've got 1, 2, 80s, Encore.
So is there any particular group that you want to see a rock band or a Guitar Hero for?
I was pretty much psyched about Van Halen. That was one of my big bands, but it's not a really band-oriented group. It's kind of weird. It's more just a singing thing, but I don't know. Maybe it'll do well.
Or is it just me, or is the whole like Simon Says play music thing starting to get kind of old?
Well, the premise is definitely wearing.
I think they're trying to rejuvenate it. They're adding more, like with the cymbals and the second pedal for the drums. They're trying to make it more real. The bass guitar, I can appreciate that, but it's
They
kind of
actually
you
use
can only
this-
go so far without having to add like entirely new instruments or something.
Oh,
you know?
well, there's always DJ Hero.
Can I get a
That's
cymbal?
true. That should be quite different.
Is it still in court, by the way?
No, they won that lawsuit.
Oh, okay.
What was the lawsuit over that?
In fact, I think there was 2 lawsuits with that. There was something weird going on.
Well, there was the bit
Um,
that like what? There's DJ Hero and like Scratch the Ultimate DJ.
Yeah, Scratch won the one against DJ Hero because apparently somebody was giving information of Scratch DJ's thing to
Well, there was a whole weird
DJ
thing that
Hero.
like Activision bought the developer for Scratch.
Huh. Because I heard
Before it
they
was
got
done.
information illegally or something, but they weren't going to use it. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, there's something weird about that. They like bought that developer, and then that's why Scratch had got put to a completely different developer. Because after Activision bought them and they're making the main competition for it,
Yeah.
I guess they decided they didn't want to keep going with
That
it.
was probably
Ah.
what drove the lawsuit.
This
is
is
they
like
felt
what's,
like they were
what
getting
happened
bought
with
out.
Budo Legend.
No, at least that one
No.
stuck with the same developer. I mean, they just played publisher, musical chairs.
It's almost like what's going on with it's either Capcom or Konami with that third party developer. They had Splatterhouse. They were making the new Splatterhouse.
Oh, it was
and
Namco,
they
I
nixed
believe.
it. But now they're going back and getting a lot of the same developers that were working on it to finish it, which I don't understand. But
I don't know. It's a lot like what happened with Harmonix.
they claimed that they didn't like what the company was doing with it, the direction they were taking it,
Yeah.
and now they're going back and getting the same guys to finish it.
Well,
I can't figure that. So, yeah, and that with the split too with Harmonix.
I'm sure it has something to do with nonsense and intellectual property, as always.
Yeah.
I
So is
know-
there?
and that lawsuit got settled between was it Harmonix and Gibson,
Oh,
and they came to some agreement to some sort, which wasn't disclosed, but because Gibson was suing for their guitar being used, even though it's never had a patent on it.
Yeah, I don't
Huh.
get that either. It's like
I don't
there were
either.
already lawsuits like in the 70s that said that they couldn't sue people.
That's
for
like when
having their
Mack
guitar
Truck was
design.
trying to sue
Huh.
Dodge for using the front end of their truck that looked like a Mack truck, and that lawsuit got lost.
That's why a lot of guitars look the same, because
Right.
they never patented the shape, really. So
so they
everybody
can use
copied
that
it.
one.
well, it happened to Fender and to Gibson. So
partially also why you see so many of those third-party crappy guitars out there for Guitar Hero and Rock Band, because there's no real patent pending on them other than
so back to my
how to make
the-
it work.
the mechanism, yeah.
so
the
back to
shape
my
can be-
question: is there any other band that you would want to see as a Guitar Hero rock band other than
Queen.
Queen?
I would fucking love to see Queen as a guitar.
Yeah, but every song would be like 10 minutes long.
so
And I know that Steve wants what rock band Jethro Tull.
Well,
oh fucking
who
A, I
wouldn't?
would totally love Jethro Tull. That would be awesome.
REO
too.
Speedwagon, Three Dog Night. Should I go on?
Three Dog
AC/DC?
Night. Where did Three Dog Night come from?
I was thinking of Robotech the movie.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, because that's what drives me to want to sing Robotech the movie.
Yes, after all of your battles are over, after all of the fighting is
Well,
done,
what was it?
will you be the one?
What was it? Guitar Hero got You've Got the Touch, You've Got the Power. That
Stan
song from-
Bush.
Yeah. Why do you know that?
got
I
the
remember seeing the article on
power.
Kotaku because he had actually
You got the
he wanted to do it and he was
power.
pushing it to get them to do it and sell it. They wouldn't do it, and he got literally his whole fan base to complain until they agreed to do it, and they just released it as a free song.
Huh.
Although I couldn't find it, I went looking for it the other day on the 360, and I couldn't find the song.
It's on Guitar Hero, not Rock Band.
I went under the Guitar Hero looking
Really?
because I was going to download it and go get a Guitar Hero song. I mean, you can buy a Guitar Hero disc cheap now for 2 or 3 or whatever the last one was. I think it was 3 or Aerosmith that would allow you to play the newer songs with it.
I can't even
So,
keep track of it.
I
All
couldn't
right.
find the song on there. I don't know where it went. So
All right. Well, let's move on. Konami drops 6 Days in Fallujah. Apparently, it was
Aw.
too hot of a potato for them to handle.
pussies.
Although that one's kind of bizarre when the developer's coming on the next day and going, "Huh?
Yeah.
What? Our game just got canceled?"
Yeah.
I
Somebody
missed
made a
that
decision
memo.
and Didn't tell everyone.
Did somebody leave that memo in Fallujah?
Yeah.
It sounds awful knee jerk.
Yeah, the
Little bit.
War Garble was too much for Konami.
The War Garble was epic for that particular year.
War Garble, is that like a name of a Pokemon?
Yes.
I'm surprised Konami was as sensitive to it, though.
They're like the last company I would think would be that.
Yeah, I not
think
really. I
being,
was kind of surprised.
Safely
they did it.
insulated over in Japan would help with that whole thing.
Yeah, there must have been something else.
Maybe they just decided. Maybe we can hope they decided just to do Full Spectrum Warrior 3 instead. They're like,
They-
you
It may
Well,
be because it
never the
offended a
wrong
large
choice,
part of the
actually.
audience they were selling to, which would be more Americans than Europeans than it would
I-
be Japanese.
Yeah, I think it was just like, whoa, way too much bad stuff happening. I don't think we want to.
yes, as
publish
opposed
this
to all
game.
the other war games where happy things happen constantly.
I don't know. I think it's just the opposite. I think people over here would enjoy killing terrorists, honestly, just in the state of mind that most people are.
So could
It's
they
like-
just changed it to like 6 Days in Fallujah, where America kicks the crap out of everybody they run into? I
Well,
mean,
Yeah, I mean,
it seems like you could edit that into being acceptable.
yeah. Well, just wait for the level editors to come out, and somebody will recreate it as this game as a mod for something else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, here's the Black Hawk Down level.
Yep.
So
Mogadishu and you.
That'd be pretty awesome if you could win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or was I reading that? Apparently, the big problem with Black Hawk Down I was reading is when that one when the one Black Hawk went down in the town square, and the two guys were in it, surrounded by everything. They had fully functional turret guns still, except that the engine needs to be running to power the guns.
Huh? Like the hydraulics or
Yeah.
something? Or-
Well, like the actual mechanism that starts them up.
Huh.
And so they couldn't use them, and they had like something like 15,000 rounds. So if the engine had still been running, they could have just sat there and sprayed into the crowd for the next day or so. But apparently, that was never a thing that was considered.
Well, 15,000 rounds, I think they would have lasted like just over 30 minutes.
They're big rounds.
Yeah. They go through it fast.
They're 50 cal. No, these are the turret guns. These aren't the chain guns.
Oh,
These are the mounted ones that are like in the bays on the
on
side.
the sides that they
Yeah.
revolve. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh?
so
That seems like that might have been something you would occasionally want to do.
Yeah.
You would think there'd be some backup power source or some way to run them that wasn't dependent on the motor itself. That seems kind of detrimental.
Yeah. Seems like a design oversight.
Granted, I mean, how often are you gonna be
Be in a
shooting the gun while you're
helicopter where
landed?
the engine can't run.
Yeah,
Well,
when
even when you're landed, the engine's probably still running most
Yeah.
of the time.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, how often are you going to do it? But I'm very sure that when you need to do it, you're going to want to do it real bad.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were somewhat irked at the time.
Yeah, I'm sure they were.
all right. So next up, Capcom announces Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for Xbox 360 and PS3. So now you have online play, which is now a good thing because we can stop hearing about all these people that have been wanting this game to come out on all these next gen systems with online play. Now you have your fucking game. Now shut up.
Let's hope it works too, because apparently Ontario Tangram was a fail. It's got some
It
very
was
big bugs.
It was broken in some way, but I don't know how.
They still haven't fixed
I
it.
was reading insert credit, which has a big hard on for this game, and apparently there's some very major problems with the game.
There was
from
a
my
very
understanding.
big
They
movement
didn't release
for.
a twin stick controller, which is
No.
the obvious fail.
There. Okay.
Well, no. That was circumvented. Actually, some guys in Japan modded it, and it was kind of sad to see. They modded a Dreamcast twin stick, put in the Xbox buttons. They wired all the buttons to a pad, had it all set up, good to go, and then the game is broke. It
Bummer.
just- I don't know. I was more sad about the fact the game didn't work or that they destroyed that poor
Butchered a
stick.
Dreamcast.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
oh man.
But apparently, playing it with the normal analog controller, all the timings are off. So if you were
Oh.
very familiar with the game before, it's kind of like
Well, not only
learning
that,
to
but
ride a
certain
bike.
things are
problem with
hard to do,
Mars.
like the circle maneuver where you can strike. The timing on that is really, really hard. All of a sudden, it doesn't work like it did on the stick. So
Yeah.
Did you ever try and play Mars?
no,
Because it sucked.
I heard
all
it
the same
sucked, so
way.
I didn't bother. I heard it from multiple people. I think you were one of them, and I was like, yeah.
It looks like Virtual On, and it's kind of like playing Virtual On through a layer of taffy, but not really the experience
you're
you
looking
hope
for. Yeah.
Do a layer of taffy.
I'll just pop in one of the originals.
It's delicious.
This game is like a carnival stand. So,
Might have to pull that out next after I put Steel Battalion back away.
So do you have any- you have any interest in Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
It was a great game. It was a lot of fun.
But do you want to play it online?
I don't know. I don't think I'm really that excited either way.
Yeah.
I'm
So
more
the-
excited playing Street Fighter, honestly.
The internet says it's horribly unbalanced.
Well, so was the Dreamcast version. I don't see any real difference.
Now you
in
can
that.
just complain to people across the world.
I don't mean as a new thing. I just wasn't aware that was a feature of Marvel versus Capcom.
It is fairly unbalanced, yes.
Well, they may actually fix some of those things too. Who knows?
I don't think they're going to do that.
It doesn't
Some
sound like
companies
they've
have
made
done
any
that.
changes.
Yeah. The
It's not
war
like
garble
the-
from the fans will be like, you've changed it, blah blah blah, and
I don't think it's like the Street Fighter 2 re-release where they actually went and tried to rework everything.
plus
that
it,
was really
it,
well
it
done.
would take infinitely longer to try and rebalance Marvel versus Capcom 2. I mean, it's 12 characters versus 56.
Right. It's a lot.
Yeah. There's some great combos in that game too.
Well,
I did hear an interesting bit of trivia about it too. The reason they're putting it on the online services is apparently they don't have the rights to release it on physical media. But
Which
they
is
do
why the
have the
Wii
rights
is-
to release it
Thank
online.
God for live, huh?
yeah. Well, that's why it's not coming out on Wii
Right.
because it's more than it's a larger size than whatever the Wii's maximum is.
Speaking of weird things coming out of the Wii, I was reading that they are releasing a download video service next month in Japan. They're going to test it on the Wii and see
How-
how it works. It must
Download
be
to
some
what?
sort of streaming system because there's
Yeah.
just nowhere to store it. So
Ooh,
I think it's called
Netflix?
Densu or Denshu.
Could
Uh,
just be streaming video. I
It
could
must
believe
be a
that.
streaming service of some sort. I mean, I can't
Yeah.
see them doing anything else.
And there
They
was
s-
like a weird Japan only one they did for the PSP too that we never saw.
Yeah, yeah.
They just they download you a Flash player and then just send you a video.
It's about the only thing you can store on that hard drive.
Or you can use the Wii's brilliant internet service and just go to Netflix's website and just watch the videos that way.
Is there actually a Flash player in the
No, I
built-in
don't-
Wii browser?
I would have to check. I
There
don't
wasn't
know.
on release
No.
because that was one thing that would kind of sucked is when I started using the browser, you couldn't watch any video of any kind.
Right.
So I don't think that's changed still because I think that's another reason why you can't see games before you download them.
Mm.
There's just no way to test things.
Huh.
You have no way
Alright.
to download it and watch it or play it or do anything with it.
And then they
Okay.
Never put in the XBLA. You will make a trial requirement.
Apparently,
So next up, there are no gays in Star Wars, but this was a BioWare thing where they were.
Well, I'm not even sure that's actually a Bioware thing.
no, it was a
It-
forum mod who was speaking out of turn thing.
And who brought the wrath of the internet down upon himself?
Yes,
I looked at it in a positive way at first and said, well, maybe they're making a statement where there is no sexual choice. There's no thought of there being one way or the other. It's all universal. And then I read more into it. I was like, oh, no, that's not it.
no, it's just some guy who was like, "No, you can't talk about this because I don't like it, and this is my reason." And the next day he was fired. So
Really, he was fired?
I don't know, but I'm betting he's not a forum mod anymore.
Ah,
He was demodded.
Or at least he's got his own mod now.
Yes.
so
So yeah, there's really nothing to this story.
yes. So next up, Red Steel 2, a western with swords.
I don't think that's going to
Trying
make
to
it any
make it
better.
a good game now.
That
Here's
let's
your
start with that
challenge.
premise and then move to the westerns.
Because we saw how well Sword went up against a 6-gun in, what was it, Red Sun? Charles Bronson and Toshiro Mifune.
I think the interesting bit for this, though, will be this will be the game to break people's hope of the Motion Plus making one-to-one sword fighting be a good idea.
Yeah.
And everybody thought when the Wiimote came out, it's going to be great for all these sword fighting games that we're going to get to play.
And then somebody made
No.
Red Steel and just turned everybody down again. It's like, oh.
Now they'll do the improved version. We'll see that it's still a bad idea, but fortunately, Red Steel will have gotten it out of the way for everybody else.
Thank God somebody was brave enough to ruin it for everyone.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, Namco bringing 2 fighting games to the PSP. Apparently, Soul Calibur Broken Destiny, which doesn't have the Star Wars characters. But
Isn't
has
that
a new
broken
character.
D-pad?
Probably. And Tekken 6, apparently.
Because fighting games do so well on a portable.
Oh, yeah. Well,
The last portable I enjoyed fighting games on was the Neo Geo Pocket, and it was actually pretty well done on that, considering they only had 2 buttons.
Didn't they already do a pretty good version of Tekken for the PSP, though?
it's not bad.
It's not that the versions are bad; it's that it's hard to fight on that D-pad with them.
Well,
They're not
if you
designed for
have-
fighting games.
If you have the 1000 model PSP, the D-pad sucks. The 2000 model, they hugely improved that D-pad, and I can pull off like
Are
special.
you
moves and
talking
shit
with
like
just
that.
the pad or with that overlay
No,
allows you
just
better
with the pad,
direction?
just with the pad, and it works awesomely.
What have you been
Huh.
playing on it?
On my PSP lately, nothing.
Well, it's what did you play in the past on it that was a fighting game that convinced you of that?
Street Fighter 3. Double
Fighter
Upper,
Alpha
I believe,
3.
is the name of the subtitle on that.
That
one.
actually is a really good game on there. It's fun. It just pissed me off. I couldn't play it, but I've got an old 1000 model, so
Yeah, the 2000 models. Yeah, that the D-pad thing
Darkstalkers.
thing of the past. Of course, now you can't get the 2000 model. You get the 3000 model with the ghosting and the weird things.
Yeah, it
going
doesn't
on
play
with
the older
screen.
games correctly because you can't view them the same.
You can't win.
We love technology.
But fortunately, we may be getting a new PSP
Ugh.
with
Are they-
even different things wrong with it.
Possibly no UMD.
Well, we'll know what E3.
Why you would not put that in there, I don't know. Cutting off all the games you've made prior just seems like a
I've
stupid.
heard some
I don't think they're gonna
weird
do that.
ideas that they might do for trying to get the UMDs on there, and I can see why they want to move to digital distribution only. I mean, I understand them wanting to do so, but I can't imagine them coming out with a device that's still compatible with the old games. But
It's gonna be a
doesn't
little
have
mini
slot.
UMD disk drive that's separate from it.
Yeah.
Got to plug into the top of the thing. It's gonna be a small Mac.
Attach it to the back with Velcro.
Yeah. It's gonna be like the old Commodore 64 where you had the external
So they
disk
give you a
drive.
kit and you have to solder it yourself.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, we'll see.
So Ubisoft,
Ubisoft.
Ghost Recon 4. Does anyone have interest in that?
Slightly. I loved the original Ghost Recon. I heard the last two weren't horrible. It just, I loved them back in the PC days, but I don't know. It depends on how well it plays on there. They've been doing pretty good things with Call of Duty.
And Steve, you got any interest in Ghost Recon or?
I
think
could never get
it's-
in any of the Clancy movies or Clancy.
I
like
God, that,
thing.
Actually,
that
I
was
like
a hell of
Clear-
a movie. Yeah,
I like Clear and Present Danger, but anyway, I could never get any of the Tom Clancy games. I could never get into them. Even Vegas, which everybody loved, and I did.
I'm not as much for the
popcorn
newer
sunglasses?
games. The old PC games, all the original Rainbow Six games were awesome.
Yeah, I just
Loved
never
that.
get
You
into
get 4 guys. You were a tactical squad. You went and covered each other. It was really the start of that type of game in my mind.
I
I think
like
I just
Splinter
Recon.
Cell. I mean,
Yeah.
they kind of petered out after a while, but the first couple really enjoyed.
Yeah,
never did anything for me.
Okay.
Rogue Spear was one of my favorites. That was an
Yeah.
add-on for the original Rainbow Six.
Which is weird because the same concept was in Full Metal Spectrum, which I love to death, or Full Spectrum Warrior, which I love to death. So
Full
Go
Metal
figure, I don't
Spectrum
know.
would be kind of an awesome
Full
mashup,
Metal
though.
Spectrum,
Yeah,
yes.
that's like the
I
metallurgical.
love that anime.
I love that anime, the FMA tactical shooter,
where you learn metallurgy and how to destroy things with it.
the tactical FPS with the guy with no body. And oh wait,
Fallujah now with more drama.
yeah, Fallujah now with giant eyes.
So I added this one news item about a kid who wanted to change his name to Sonic X, which I thought was funny.
You know, the funniest part of this is even though the king denied him because he thought he was too young to be making that kind of decision that might affect the rest of his life, and granted, that's a very smart choice.
Hey, you could change it back.
Yeah, Namco is they said they were sending, or not, Sega was sending him a huge package of Sonic stuff. It was like, hey, thanks for the free promo.
Well, they found their one remaining Sonic fan.
Yeah, apparently, and lo and behold, he was lost in a foreign country.
So apparently this kid was like, I want to change my name to Sonic X, and he writes a letter to the Norway King, and the Norway King's like, no, not yours.
I think I
Wait,
played
the
this
Norway
RPG.
King.
The Norway. So
Is-
wait a
is
minute.
that like the Whale King or the Unicorn King?
so this guy writes to Bluetooth, and is the Norway King the only person who can actually change names in Norway? Or what's the deal?
No,
he has
he
to
just-
approve things apparently.
No, he.
I
guess
think
what he
the
wanted
kid-
to-
this was just the best idea the kid could
You know what's
come
funny
up
is
with.
he's gonna write the King
the
of
kid
Norway.
had bugged his parents for like a year. It was some long period of time. They bugged him and bugged him and bugged him, and they were like, "Oh God, the king's not even gonna pay attention to this. He'll just blow it off. So fine, we'll take your letter. We'll go drop it off." They thought it was a big gag, and then
Well, they
the
actually
king called.
lied to the kid for a while about sending it. It's like he wrote, he begged them to like write the letter. They said they would, and then they like got a letter from him which they just kept and didn't mail. And then eventually he whined about it for so goddamn long that
Yeah, they
sent
finally
the
gave
thing.
in, and then they didn't think it was going to happen anyways. So I
And then
can
the
see
king
their
responded,
logic.
and it's
So-
like, yeah.
So it's not really that the king has anything to do with name changing. It's just that these 6 and thought that it would be a great idea to get to king to let him change his name.
That's what I figure.
All right.
So
I
That
mean,
makes
you
more
want a
sense to
pony,
me.
you write to Santa.
You
wanna
want your
change
name changed?
You write to
Write the Norway king.
and then Sega, sends them all this furry merchandise.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Yep.
this kid's already screwed up. Screwed up. So.
Screwed up.
Screwed up.
Holy Freudian slip.
So,
Screwed up.
I hope he likes going to Anthrocon at some point
Yeah.
later in his life.
Look forward to that, kid.
It's gonna be Punk X or
Yeah.
Furry X.
Furry X. The
Bring
new,
your Axe deodorant spray. It's not for you. It's for everyone else.
Yeah, but will he want to be Sonic or find a Sonic?
Yes.
Yeah. Wait. What?
Hot Sonic on Sonic action.
Yep.
That's gonna be painful.
I don't call them tails for nothing.
All those pointy things at the back of their heads.
Yeah. Maybe dangerous.
Spine tingling.
Are we done with this?
You
Please.
have yet to move on. We're gonna keep going until you actually assertively move on to the next mutant.
Oh,
news
Mr.
item.
Moderator.
Yeah.
Okay.
This will peter out into nothing if you don't actually assert yourself.
Oh, okay.
Gonna poke our eyes out first.
Yeah.
All right. So, speaking about the PSP, apparently Sony's going to unveil a new PSP at E3, but
we just talked about
we
that.
already talked
Yeah.
about it, but I have it in my news thing.
Wait a minute,
I'm
wait
not
a
smart enough to
flexible.
skip it, so
Yeah,
Wait a minute, what's
the head of
E3
Sony
again?
is going to bring out a box of a brand new PSP,
That's an
open it and say,
excellent
"Here's
point.
what a new PSP looks like." Thank you.
Yeah. That's all the fanfare you get at E3
Yeah,
anymore. So
No, it's going to be a PSP, and
But
there's
we
going to be
know
like a
that one.
huge workstation under it that has to
Yeah,
run
yeah.
it.
What is E3 now anyway?
it's
mean,
it's
are-
nothing.
Is it still like the scaled down thing? Are they back to like trying to do booths and babes again? Or
I don't know.
That
I
kind
think
of
the-
reminds me of.
I don't know, and I think the problem is I don't think anyone cares anymore.
Was it E3 or that we went to in '96 where we saw? No, I don't think it was E3. It was something we went to where we saw the new. I think it was a 360 running, or maybe it was a new Xbox running for the first time, and we looked in the back of it, and it was being run by a couple of iMacs. There
well,
was
they
actually
had
like
the dev consoles were dual Power Max. Yeah.
yeah,
that
with
was
Power
E3.
Macs for it that were running the thing, and we're just like, wait a minute, what's wrong with this? Isn't this like
Yeah.
a Microsoft thing? And these are what? What?
Yeah. That's like going to Best Buy and you see their, was it their,
Oh yeah, that.
that HD, that you go to their high definition kiosk sponsored by Monster Cable, and it's like, oh yeah, we'll, modify your setup so it runs perfectly HD. I mean, look at these two comparison screens, and then anyone with half a brain cell
Yeah,
can
you
just
look
look behind
the
there.
one
It's
that's
like,
got
well, one of
coax
these
and
is
one's got
like
HDMI.
HDMI, and the other one's like not HDMI.
One's
Wait a
HDMI.
minute.
One's HDMI and one's coax.
We
So,
will knock it down to one cable for you, but this cable costs $300.
Yeah.
Welcome to Monster Cable.
Yeah, they had a whole big thing on the consumerist on that one.
Oh
But
man,
it is kind of amazing how expensive HDMI cables are at retail.
Yeah. So
like-
not on the internet.
Nope.
Which
I
is
bought all
kinda-
mine for $39 or less.
mean,
then you overpaid.
You,
'cause
you
Yeah,
can get them for like
apparently.
15 or something on the internet.
$1 a foot's about
Yeah.
right. Maybe $1 every 2 feet.
Well, it kills me that
Mine are
there's
about 4 or
nobody
5 feet.
retail that carries them for that cheap a price.
Yeah.
You have to get them. It doesn't matter where you go. You can't get them for as cheap as you can on the internet. It blows my mind
Yeah.
that there's not somebody going, hey, wait a minute. How about I buy these? I can still sell them for half of what everybody else does. You know?
But
Yeah,
that
I
was
think it's
always
just
like
the
Radio
overhead.
Shack's business model.
Well,
Sell
it's
cables
that
at
everybody
3
else
times
has now.
markup.
But even Micro Center, you can't buy them cheap at Micro Center.
The
either.
last pair I
They're
got, or
30
last set I
bucks.
got was
Yeah.
3 feet, and it was $29, I think.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
ridiculously expensive in
That's
retail.
still like
You
half the
go
price
on
you pay
Amazon
just
and
about
it-
anywhere
it's
else,
like-
though.
I know, but I mean,
$3,
still, I mean,
$7,
it kills me.
And,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter because they're digital. It's
Yeah.
works, doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's
Wires
like,
go all the way from one end to the other, or no?
like
Yeah.
buying the $10,000 CD player. It's
Yeah.
like,
Pretty much. with the wooden knobs for better acoustic reproduction.
And the demagnetizing head.
Yes.
Well, that's
so
useful.
yeah, well, if they release a new PSP, so be it. That'd be cool. Hopefully, it's fixed the problems of old 3.
No, well,
1,000.
it'll fix all the old problems, but then it'll come with like 10 new problems.
Yeah, it'll be.
Well, sure, you
it'll
gotta
be-
have some reason to upgrade later on down the road.
It'll be the most awesomest system ever, but it'll be in black and white.
Yeah. No headphone
It's like
jack.
the Twilight Zone
Yeah, no
paradox.
headphone jack.
It's like the Twilight Zone paradox or something.
Or, you
Oh
know-
yay, I get to read books and nobody will disturb me, and then I step on my fucking glasses. You know, I
Or they'll
can't
get
read.
the screen right, the controls right, the battery life right, and take out the UMD slot.
Yeah.
They'll do something like
Brilliant. Oh, wait a
introducing-
minute.
It's like introducing the new PSP. D-pad sold separately.
Screen has a total lifespan of a week and a half.
It's like buying a console system and not getting the cables to run it.
It would be pretty awesome if they came out with an OLED screen. For
Yeah, but it would cost $700 for the PSP then.
Still be awesome.
I'm not arguing. I'm just saying.
It's
gonna be really expensive awesome.
I'm just saying.
Well, that is kind of Sony's modus operandi.
It's you got a point there.
All right. So next up, Fallout 3 downloadable content disc coming out, which is Operation Anchorage and the Pit as a retail disc.
For people
I'd be
who
a-
have 360s and somehow magically don't have internet.
Actually, they haven't announced that it was going to be on a 360. Yes, no, maybe.
Well, I mean, there's a whole thing that they haven't done any of the DLC for anything other than the 360. The assumption being that they got money hats.
Money.
But
You like
whether-
my hat?
Oh my
It's
god!
made of money.
You like my hat? It's made of money. I totally forgot about that strip.
whether or not that precludes them from coming out with a disc that allows the PS3 people to play that content, totally unknown. But that would be interesting. And also, Broken Steel is going to come out tomorrow, which, your strange future time of anybody listening to this is probably a couple of days ago. So I don't see any reason why they wouldn't include Broken Steel in that collection when they released it.
Yeah, but it doesn't have Broken Steel.
Well, what we know is Amazon has a product listing that has an incomplete product description that specifically mentions Anchorage and the Pit.
Yeah,
It might
What are the odds
change
of those
by
two being
release.
together for anything else?
that's true. Was it the Broken Steel one? Isn't that the level cap up to
Yes.
30?
That's the one that's going to.
Although you can change that on the console too.
if you're playing the PC version.
Yeah.
But it also is going to have a whole slew of new achievements and
Right.
all the stuff that happens after the ending that
Yeah.
doesn't
There was
happen
some discussion
anymore.
about this recently too. Not just this, but games that are because there's supposed to be like an achievement
Oh.
limit.
And I shouldn't say achievements, new perks, which is more interesting.
Oh, okay,
Right.
yeah. Because I mean, certain games have been abusing the achievement level or number of achievements you can have because they hit close to that level with the original game, but then they bring out add-on content that's got even more achievements, and they're making too many achievements.
Well, they changed the policy because it used to be that like
I think
you
that's
got
why.
1,000 for the retail game,
Yeah,
and you could add up to 250 more in DLC. And now I think it's something like you can add 250 more in DLC like per quarter or something.
yeah. Well, they had to because there's games that are coming out now with expansions. It's not just a expansion that does it. Now there's 2 or 3, so
Like
they cut
buying
their own
Lineage.
throat if they're not letting you add those on and give it the benefit of that to the person that's the achievement whore.
It still makes the dick hats work just fine.
Yeah, I don't think it
they
changes
still
anything.
mean as much as they ever did.
Yeah.
So, are you planning on picking up this downloadable content, or is that a stupid question?
Well, I might wait until day number 2 and see whether or not Bethesda managed to totally break it again.
That's true.
But
Yeah,
yes, I will
it's
be
just like
picking it
PC.
up.
I got a great when the what is the release candidate they put out for Windows 7 came
Yeah,
out.
that's coming out tomorrow.
No, it was like a couple days ago.
Well, no. If you didn't have a beta or you hadn't pre-registered, you can
Oh.
tomorrow. I'll be hopping on to get a key so that I can do it, and I'm going to
The,
install it this weekend too.
The folks that had the betas and the MSDN descriptions and stuff like that, They all tried to get in on day one, and they're all like, "Why doesn't it work?" And like,
Yeah.
it doesn't work for the same reason it didn't work every other time you tried to download a release candidate from Microsoft. You morons!
Yeah.
Must have it on first day.
These are also the yo-yos that were in Star Wars waiting in line a week before the movie came out or a month just to get the first tickets to watch the first show.
Yep.
Like, yeah, it's not going to be any less popular on day 2. Okay.
Although interestingly enough, the window. Did you see that the thing for the release candidate for Windows 7 is it'll last until like some ridiculous amount of time?
Well, they're giving you a full year.
Yeah, it lasts
Yeah.
sometime in like 2010. It's like,
That's
so
crazy.
how
I
are
was
you
gonna
endorsing?
reinstall.
How are you encouraging me to buy your operating system when I get to use it for a year for free?
Well, they
Either
have
that or
a
if they
theory that
got,
this is going to cut back a majority of the piracy if you have a full year to use it without having to go hack it. So
Yeah, right. Because
I don't know.
getting the release candidate, letting hackers work at it for a year is going to keep people from extending it longer.
Well, they won't have to go to other lengths to screw it up. They can just download it for free.
My bet is they're just being realistic about when it's actually going to release.
Well,
Yeah,
that's-
because originally they had
fairly
slated it
possible.
for anywhere from between July and like February of next year. And that's why I was just going to reinstall XP this weekend and do a fresh reboot or install. And then I saw this coming out and they're like, well, they finally announced. I might as well just throw it on there and test it.
Yeah. I don't know if I do that though, because if you're going to want a game on it, there's no guarantee your games are going to be compatible.
Video drivers are probably going to be a clusterfuck.
Yeah. Especially for if you
We'll
just
see.
got a new video card.
I'm excited because I'll be able to do DirectX 10.1 on it. And some of
Yeah.
the games, some of the newest games I got run that. And they look really good on the new video card I just bought. So hopefully
I don't know.
somebody's
Sounds like
ahead of the head of
sounds
the
like it'd be a
game.
headache.
Maybe. We'll
You might
see.
want to
though.
wait a month. Reinstall XP for a month and then wait a month and wait
I can
for
always wipe in, just do an XP install again. It's not going to hurt anything.
It's cheaper than buying Vista.
Yeah, God
No, that's for
knows
sure.
I avoided Vista until now, so I'll be able to keep avoiding it.
Man, I tell you, with the activation for Vista, I have yet to have it reject an activation for me.
Oh,
I've probably reinstalled like 6 times now,
Huh.
and
The only thing they
That's
don't have a
nice.
DRM on, huh?
yeah,
I had to
Apparently.
call Microsoft, I don't know, at least 3-4 times now with XP.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, they
Weird.
always just,
Sounds like someone needs a
reactivate,
corporate
but-
license.
So anyway,
Somebody needs to be stealing from their employer.
so
we just use Windows 2000.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
XP's a little too modern for us.
Fallout 3, awesome game.
Oh,
I've
right,
gotten,
because
like-
you've been playing it now.
Yes.
Welcome to the world of Western RPGs.
Oh please.
Oh
That's-
please, nothing.
Hey, genuine
What was the one-
congratulations here.
What was the RPG? The last Western RPG you played before Fallout 3? Once again.
Dungeon Master on the Amiga.
Yeah. So yeah, welcome to this century.
I rest my case.
Mr. Birdman, Mr. Birdbrain.
So
So
It is-
did you nuke Megaton or not?
no, I did not nuke Megaton.
So totally goody two shoes then.
Well, I'm going to do 2 different saves. I'm going to do 2 different paths. Once I do the good path, then I'm going to do the evil path.
Okay.
Because I'm going to I'm going to end up running through the game twice anyway.
Okay.
And you still won't have hit every area in the game.
The map is deceptively large.
It is.
Yeah.
It is fairly large.
Most of the people I've talked to so far that have beat it said there's probably another 40 or 50% of the game they have not touched. Just
Oh,
because
I've-
there's so much
that's-
area that they can't go over.
If you just go through, get to level 20, and beat the main story, you can do that with seeing easily 10% of the game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
You just concentrate on the main quest.
You just got to get the achievement that brings up all the little scenario markers on the map.
Although I don't know how much does that help, because you don't get an indication if you visited them or not, right?
Yeah.
So you'd
So
have
that's
to
kinda
just-
So
like
you
the
still
pain in
got to
the
make like some sort of mental map or mark
Yeah.
off the markers you did.
Yeah, you got to remember if you went there.
Well,
Look at
all
the
you have
overhead
to
projector bit up on the screen.
No,
and
all-
circle them as you go through.
No, all you have to do is try and fast travel to a location, and if you can't fast travel to it, you haven't been there yet.
I'm not sure how that works with that achievement that you get. The
Yeah, I think you
Explorer
might
one.
be able to fast travel to those once you get that achievement.
Well, yeah, but then if you just fast travel to it, you get the experience points of finding the location, but it doesn't really matter because
Well,
you can only
this
get that
is
perk
a-
when you're at level 20.
Yeah, this is a much later achievement. So
I didn't know anybody that wanted to blow their 20th level perk on that
I
on
don't
that one
know.
either. So
Sorlak
that's
did,
also a problem.
but Sorlak has about 1,600 saves. So whenever I go home, he sits me down in front of the computer and shows me all the wacky things he's found in Morrowind. So
Damn.
Yeah.
He must have been working on that for a while.
he's got a pretty kick-ass guy in Morrowind.
So
He like goes to the Morrowind wikis that have like all the strange stuff in there, and he has, I haven't gotten that yet.
Who would have thought wikis would be so full of Easter eggs?
Well, frickin' Morrowind apparently you can play until the end of your life. There's so much stuff in there.
And still not find it all.
So anyway, moving on, because we haven't bitched about this game in a long time, Myst is coming out on the iPhone.
Oh, yeah, there's
only
a
matter of
keeper.
time.
How big is Myst
Which
now?
version of Myst is it?
The suck ass is the very first suck ass version, the slideshow.
The original
PowerPoint
not the
presentation.
3D remake.
I don't think so. I think it's just still images.
I don't know,
And
3D remake would probably be pretty hard on the iPhone.
I don't know. I mean, that came out what
10 years ago.
2000, 2001.
No, maybe.
I mean,
Eh.
the 3D on the iPhone seems to be up to about PS2 par.
Yeah, it plays Tux Racer.
Funky the Skunk.
Ah.
Look,
So
I know my video card works. I can play Tux Racer. It still
Um,
stutters, but I can play it.
So did anyone here actually? Because we bitch about Myst a lot, but has anyone actually in this room played Myst?
Yes,
Yes.
I have
Well,
played them and enjoyed
yeah,
them.
I played the
I
first
beat
one,
the first one.
and I decided never to play any of them ever again.
I
Yeah,
played
that was
one,
pretty much it. I
two,
think I was over it on the first one.
3. Haven't played 4 yet. And
So you've
haven't
played Riven and
5.
Exile, and then what? Uru is the fourth one.
No, Uru was like the weird side quest thing. I think 4 is what's that? I can't remember what 4 is called. 5 is like End of Ages. And it's supposed to be the last one in the series.
So
Yeah.
no love for Myst from Steve.
Nope.
Not into really exotic landscapes with puzzles.
Nope.
No, it's just like Seventh Guest.
Didn't like it in Beyond Zork either.
I actually like Seventh Guest
Yeah, you would.
and 11th Hour. Those were actually pretty cool back in the day, but yeah.
I really like thinly veiled excuses to string arbitrary logic puzzles together.
Yeah, it kind of kills the game for me, really.
Yeah.
If I'm not doing enough killing, the game's kind of not holding a lot of, interest for me. As American and stereotypical as that may be.
Okay.
Apparently, we don't disapprove.
Yeah.
So our last news bit is well, it's not really news. I just happened to
what
hit
is
the
this?
Memorpaga
Alt
website.
alt.porn.binaries?
No,
What is this? What are you
No,
A
talking
lot
about?
of exit or a lot of ones and
no,
zeros.
the APB MMORPG.
Oh, is that the one where you play cops and robbers against
Yeah.
each other?
That's the one from the Crackdown devs.
Yeah, it could be cool if they don't fuck it up. And
Yeah,
the way
that is true.
MMOs go, they'll probably fuck it up, just statistically. So,
I do think it's a crying shame they're doing this instead of Crackdown 2. Because I
Well,
can't think of any
yeah.
other of the open world games that was just as much plain fun as Crackdown was.
yeah, I just restarted Crackdown a little while ago again.
It's not a complicated game.
Plus, you can buy it for $4.
That helps.
So,
And
yeah.
it's still got a better targeting interface than any other game.
Yeah,
Or in
pretty
that
good.
genre.
So no interest in APB.
well, the camera's like about 1,000,000 times better than any of the GTA games, that's for sure.
And shooting
can
in
you
the
swim in
GTAs
Crackdown?
always sucked rocks.
Yeah, you can swim in Crackdown.
Oh, well, there you go.
It'd swim like a fucking powerboat.
Yep. Pretty much.
Swim like you're on crack.
Well, but you can swim in what was
GTA
the
now.
last- yeah,
Oh,
what was
well,
the last one?
4,
Yeah, whatever 4 was.
Liberty City.
There's that San Andreas.
No,
Yeah.
Liberty.
You could actually swim since 3.
Okay.
I thought you couldn't. I thought it was like Vice City was the first time you could swim.
Speaking about swimming, Assassin's Creed 2
Yeah.
now with
Mm.
hang gliding.
That might
Man.
have been it. I thought it was San Andreas, but I
Why not?
could be wrong.
You're in Italy and land of Da Vinci
Whatever.
and all.
Let's get it turned into cave dwellers.
Cave dwellers,
Gonna make a tank out of coconut.
Yeah.
cave dwellers. Miles O'Keefe.
How much Keef is in this movie?
Miles O'Keefe.
They
And-
should have Steve Reeves be in this in this game.
What, in Assassin's Creed 2?
Yeah, it's in Italy.
Is he
Steve Reeves.
alive?
Just a few dozen
No.
more.
No, Steve Reeve is not still alive.
You kidding me?
Steve Reeve was like, 30 in 1960. So, I mean, I suppose he could still be alive, but it's highly unlikely. The man
Be on
had a lot of
oxygen
steroids.
and dead out of his mind, but hey.
It doesn't bode well for life expectancy.
Nope, not really. Plus, he was in Sandstorm. He was subjected to and created deep hurting. So,
Do we have any video games that are deep hurting right now? I haven't played Ninja Clown lately, so or Trio the Punch. So I haven't had any deep hurting.
hey,
The
I'd
only
like
deep
to-
hurting I've had is my Xbox 360 freezing on me when I'm playing Fallout.
Apparently, that major minor marching game is deep hurting.
Oh, was that marching band game?
Yeah, the one from the Parappa the Rappa developer.
Oh no.
And apparently, it sold all of 600 copies on opening weekend, so it seems to be tanking pretty hardcore.
Not exactly marching out the door.
Uh,
Apparently, it swings with the beat of a different drummer.
I didn't even know it existed. So there you go.
Yeah.
it's a Wii game.
Oh, well, that explains it. I'd like to point out that it is now what's today?
Fourth.
It is 1 month and 10 days from the supposed release date of Jumpgate Evolution, and there's no public beta yet.
Yeah. Did you see that release of the box art they showed from some European website?
No.
They actually had the box art for it, but they don't know who it's for. But it was on a like European publisher or a European like Amazon type site that was selling. And they just had released a picture of it, and they're like, "We don't know who this is going to or when it's coming out, but here's a picture of the box."
So, are they actually going to make the release date, or is the public
I'm-
beta just going to be like a week before launch as a big please buy our
I don't
game
know
thing?
because they had something like 750,000, 750,000 beta signups for that game.
That's
and
a lot of beta
so-
signups.
Yeah, so I'm
That's a hell of a lot of beta signups.
I'm like, maybe you want to let some people in that that beta test for that, but
I think somebody likes your
let's see.
game.
Yeah.
Or the possibility of
well,
playing.
shit. Have
your
you seen some of
game.
the mods people are making for their desks and crap for this game? Because it'll
No.
support throttles and joysticks and all that sort of crap.
Wow.
Oh damn!
Yeah, and so people are like making like whole enclosure things with
Oh, like
whatever,
cockpits and things,
cockpits and crap for it. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money for a game you don't know if it's any good yet.
The
I still
flight
want
sim
to,
grognards are totally going for this one, huh?
Oh yeah,
I still
Big
so
time.
want to wire 3 TVs together just to benefit on Steel Battalion and use that option. Multi-display button. Oh yeah. Yeah.
a lot of those mods really bite. When there was one guy who obviously has some sort of mechanical design knowledge, and he made a really spiffy one.
Huh.
Put that engineer to use.
It would look really cool. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of work for a game you don't know if it's gonna suck or not.
Yep.
Wouldn't it bite if it got canceled? Well, we just didn't have the budget to keep doing this game, so sorry.
We're too late with the beta, and we don't think anybody wants it now.
Load up that DOS box and start playing Free Space, buddy.
No, they'll just they'll move the property over to a different developer. It'll be like, well,
bought
we
out by
couldn't finish
Sony.
it, so we've moved it over to PopCap.
Moved it over to Cryogen.
Sony will buy it and bury it.
Oh, dear. They might as well not release it at that point. They might as well just kill it now, just save themselves the trouble.
I just have
Case
this
in point.
mental image of Sony Online Entertainment crouching in the wings, waiting for the next round of MMOs to come out to see which ones they can kill this
like a-
time.
Pound them out of existence.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys don't have a really successful MMO. What the hell are you doing?
They're that bully in the schoolyard who's not smart enough to do his own thing, so he beats up the kids at R.
They're just playing whack-a-mole with MMOs. Look, MMO pop. Boink.
I bought my mom a Wii and Wii Fit, and it's surprisingly fun. She
Wii Fit
actually
is
gets
fun.
up every morning about 20 minutes early and goes and does Wii Fit stuff. And she says she's feeling better and she's enjoying it, and I don't know, it's rather funny, but I've actually enjoyed playing some of the stuff on there. So it's very fun, very interesting.
And now you can pick up a copy of Sean White Snowboarding and use your board with that too.
It's actually one of the harder things to do on there too, which I was kind of surprised, is the snowboarding level. I haven't gotten to try the Sean White game, but
I swear to
But
God,
that
they're
makes
just
sense to me since snowboarding is in fact hard.
Well, I read there was some rock climbing game coming out that uses it too. I don't know quite how, but
That's related to that deep hurting game.
yeah, it could be. I don't know.
I swear to God, they're just putting out the same screenshots over and over again for Star Trek Online.
Maybe it's just that it's Star Trek and you can't tell the difference from one to the next.
You would think they would, if they're. I mean, they only put them out like it looks like once a month, maybe. Looks like almost every 30 days they put out 3 screenshots, and so you think they would be a little more selective in the screenshots they pick.
I
Make them a
bet
little more.
ship on stars.
There's ship on stars, and there's ship in front of asteroid, and
Ship orbiting planet.
yeah, well, no, nondescript or undescribed planet scene. It
Yeah.
seems to be the pattern here.
Sounds like it covers the game.
I mean, they look really good, but it's like, okay, well, you got no more information.
And what star date is this game going to be
Yeah.
coming out?
Yeah,
I think I came up with an answer for our game music on the shmup
Mm.
called the Korg DS10.
Oh yeah.
You want to talk about fun to make music on? That little synthesizer is actually a hit. I'm having a blast with it. I
Is
made
that
like
the-
5 songs already.
That's the DS emulator of it. Thing?
Yeah, it's like a little synthesizer. It's got 2 built-in synthesizers, a drum, 2 different mixers, a mixer for each synthesizer, an overmixer, and then you can save. You can bring in samples of each thing you want and mix them together. It's unbelievable what you can do with it, really. But it's just fun to sit there and create a song from scratch. And
Well, make a
tinker
good
with
one.
it. You can take your pick.
and he's humble too, folks.
Oh no! I mean, it's fun. I just sit in my dentist's office about 10 minutes before I was supposed to go in, and I made one of the coolest songs so far. I was like, "Wow, this was so easy, and it was so much fun to just tinker with."
So now you
Oh.
can be an electronica star.
Oh,
'Cause
Oh,
that's
yeah.
pretty much what they do too.
Play my
now we know what our
flanger, my
intro music
delays,
is.
and-
Whatever you listen to at the beginning of this podcast, that was Brian's.
Yeah, it outputs really easly out of the system. I was kind of surprised. In fact, I already saw a couple of Japanese guys that were doing techno shows with it, where they had wired it into their entire system and were doing music off of it. And
Well,
do it
those
whole
people have been doing that
freestyle.
with Game Boys for a while, so
Yeah, apparently it's a lot easier with the DS. So I don't know. Definitely fun to play with though.
Oh, okay.
And I got the game for like $20 from some
I
dude
thought we
in
weren't doing
Canada.
reviews anymore.
Not.
We're
This is
not. I'm
What are
just
you
saying,
doing
these
right
are fun
now?
things to
Oh,
play right
that's
now.
cool. And what are you doing right now, Steven?
Up, you caught him.
I played some online poker.
you win.
That's a game.
That poker.
Well, it's a casual game.
PokerStars.
No, but I didn't lose very much, so I'm doing okay. if the comparison of me compared to the other players, by and large, is of any sort of indicator, I'm not half bad.
Okay, you're half good.
I'm half good, and the rest of them are
All bad.
a lot of
Mostly
them are all bad. There's a lot of really bad online poker players.
Finally tried the online for Street Fighter 4, won 3 out of 5 games, so with a shitty controller, so shitty stick. I
Yeah.
did find a dude I've got to show you that hand makes sticks out of wood, like maple, cherry nut.
Yeah, you showed that to me.
Did I show you those pictures?
Yeah.
Dude, nice sticks, like $200. Totally worth it.
So, Johnny, you play any?
Johnny K.
Johnny K?
Mostly Puzzle Quest Galactrix. Like it
Oh,
considerably
yeah,
better
yeah.
than Warlords. Actually, they
What is
fixed a lot of the problems.
Is it just me and Brian that are playing hardcore games? Why are you guys playing just casual stuff? I mean, come on.
Dude,
I don't know.
even
I'm
my
playing-
profile
I'm
says
playing for money,
casual.
so I don't know what
Well,
you're
you-
talking
I
about.
thought
you-
giving
thought
up on
you
the
put-
hardcore a long time ago.
I thought you put that on there just to annoy me.
Maybe. I don't know.
Murdock, I'm playing for money. That's pretty hardcore.
Really?
That's super hardcore.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, you're actually like losing shit.
Yeah.
That's way more hardcore than just going out and
And
shooting
how much
people
money
in the
have you
face
lost,
for fake.
Steve?
Not a button. The way I see it is I've spent less losing in poker than I spent on lunch this week. So
That's a
It
good
was like
track
playing
record.
mahjong.
and the upside is actually pretty I don't think there's really any real English mahjong sites.
Well, no, I mean, I think in comparison to money. it's about the same
Oh,
thing.
I'm nowhere near as good in poker as I am in mahjong, but I've been playing mahjong for 10 years, so
Yeah.
Did you ever play the Mahjong XBLA game?
I did not.
Okay.
Didn't actually even know. It
I,
existed.
I looked at that game and I was kind of half interested.
Is it
but
real
then
mahjong?
Yeah, it's real mahjong, not
Like
not
what,
Shanghai.
What like what rules?
I
don't-
think it's got some options to it, but I'm not sure what they all are.
Huh.
I think the default might be what, like Taiwanese, I think it is.
That'd be fucked up.
There is, speaking of mahjong, Neo Geo made a mahjong arcade way back in the day, like late 90s, I guess. It was actually a whole mahjong controller. And I think it was, oh no, it wasn't the arcade. I think it was for the home system, the AES. And it only plays like one mahjong game, I think. But the controller is very elaborate. It's a big box deal with buttons for, as if you were playing a hand of mahjong where you can choose.
Yeah,
I've only seen a handful of them come up for sale on the forums, and
Yeah,
they're generally
SNK
around $300 or $400, but
SNK
they're
has
pretty
done
cool.
some weird type of, one game type controller. Type
Well, every
deals.
arcade company out there does it. They try something
It-
and to
it's
see if
like-
it works.
Well,
and-
there's only one game that I can think of that uses the control for irritating stick.
Well, yeah, it was designed for the arcade though, so it was supposed to be an arcade setup.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got the whole irritating stick set up at home. I got to build an arcade for it. I literally have to build a cabinet for it.
Or buy somebody's crappy old one.
Yeah, and remodel. I actually wanted to make a sit down one though, like a cocktail for it, because I think that would be perfect for it.
That's a
Right.
little bit too much for that game.
I don't think so. The only downside is I've got the poster art for the entire arcade. It's literally just missing a cabinet. So to make it right, I'd have to get a stand-up cabinet to put all the box art on, all the side art. But
Yeah.
When I was when I was a kid, I was at when we go to the orthodontist. They had a rip-off of Galaga cocktail game. It was
It's
like,
a bad clone, or
yeah, it was just. I mean, it was Galaga, except it had different, different bitmaps for the guys that go. I mean, it played exactly the same.
right?
The
But
but
it was a
anybody that played
two-player
Galaga
cocktail.
knew what Galaga was,
The-
though. It
the-
had
the
unique
den-
sounds.
The
and-
dentist that I used to go to, my orthodontist when I was really, really young, he was into video games, and he actually has, and I kid you not, he does have a working copy of Computer Space in his office.
I don't know what
I
that.
don't
is.
even know what that is.
It's a really, 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 really old game.
Never even heard.
Really
of it.
old. It's like from like the
Post-
60s.
yeah.
It's like 60s, 70s. I think
Well,
it's
there was
Computer
no
Space, so it's
arcade
Space
games
War or
in,
something
in the
like that.
60s. Space War, you mean?
It was one of the. It's something
'Cause
really
Space
ancient.
War was. I mean, there was Adventure and Space War until Asteroids came out
Well,
and Space Invaders.
and then he had a copy of Phoenix,
Wow.
old shmup, very, very old. But my I've been seeing a personal trainer, and every time I drive down there, I pass by the Nicola play. That's off of was it that one street and that other street?
Yeah, it's so memorable.
Oh, yeah, that one street. I know you're talking. Well,
Yeah.
I'd
I don't-
go in there, but I'd be afraid of getting nickel and dimed.
Ah.
It makes sense.
But like I was saying, I was looking at that mahjong game on Xbox Live, and I'm like, I was kind of a little half interested in it. I was thinking maybe I'll download the demo.
It's a multiplayer, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
I believe it supports multiplayer.
What do you play for? Can you play for Xbox Live points?
no,
That would
I
be
don't-
awesome.
now that actually would be pretty cool. I would even try that just for the chance to win points.
But
See, that would be pretty freaking awesome. So you basically play for nothing against other people.
well,
I'm
Bragging
there's,
rights, I guess.
score and all that. There's got to
Yeah.
be a leaderboard.
Achievements.
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Oh, I got my.
achievements for mahjong. Got out of mahjong game alive.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Got-
it's not like you actually have any betting in mahjong, so
Oh, that's true.
But I decided not to try the demo because then people would see that I was trying the demo of mahjong, and then my
I
gamer
think
rep
you
would have
think
gone
other
down.
people
They might
care
speak
more than
about
they
your
do.
mahjong days.
Well, I mean,
What,
I
what
just
exactly
wonder if
were
like,
you doing on that evening?
like in real mahjong, if you like lose points when you lose, because that's only fair.
Everybody starts with 0.
Yeah.
How you doing? I don't know. I'm a negative 56. I think I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't know. You have to give it a try. Tell us, what rule set it uses and if it's any good.
Yeah, kind of doubt it. There's not a lot of. I know one mahjong game that's any good. So, and it's really old. Put out in like '97.
It's pretty
My
old.
favorites are the strip mahjongs.
Yeah, but they almost always play Japanese rules, and Japanese
Yeah.
mahjong rules are fucked up. So-
They're a little stupid in some. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they took mahjong and they Japanified it,
Yeah.
which comes out as well as anything else that Japan Japanifies.
So fascinating but squicky.
Yep, fascinating, but also makes you want to kill someone.
So, what was the rules? It was like Thai rules or something that they give you a point for everything. It's like you
That's
sneeze during.
Taiwanese rules.
Oh, is it
Taiwanese rules, you end up with hands because they only played like a penny a point, and so you do like you play by points, and you play by a smaller denomination of whatever currency you're betting with, because you're going to end up with 35 points in that hand. So
It was like you
it's not like
you
Hong Kong
sneeze, you get a
mahjong where
point.
you have to get 3 in order to get up, and there's no point minimum in Taiwanese. So. And literally, when we used to play Taiwanese style, we had 3 pages of scoring rules. It's just like, okay. And so you had to memorize the flow chart of score this first and see if there's points here. They go to this section and score this section. It's just ridiculous.
That
Like,
sounds
you know
even
what?
worse than the American scoring stuff.
I don't even know the American scoring stuff. It never made any sense. The American rules don't make any sense to me. At least
Well, you've been playing with Taiwanese.
No, I mean, at least I
Like
understand the
seven down.
Japanese rules. I think they're dumb, but I understand them. I've never understood American mahjong rules. It's just like, well, we had a bunch of tiles and we kind of play until someone wins. Just can't. No.
So let us know how that is. Report back.
alright.
Yeah, he'll get right on that.
I'm all over it. Right
Soon as he
after
wins
I
some more
win
money.
back my poker money.
Yeah.
I was almost in the money the last tournament I played.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So you almost got your dollar back.
The buy-in's $3,
Well,
but you can win up to 70 if you do first. $76 is first place. 50 something in second place, and it goes down all the way down to like $7 for ninth place.
Oh.
If it's a
Wow,
45
That's
person.
a lot of
thing, so-
placements.
Well, it's a 45 person tournament. If you play,
Still, that's a lot of payoffs.
yeah.
You would
Well-
expect it to go beyond maybe 5 or 6 people.
Well, if you have 45 people, they all pay in $3. So you're
So there's
your
no
prize
real
pot.
cut off the top for whoever's doing this. They're just,
well, it's 35 plus 30 cents is what it is. So they take the
Oh,
30
okay.
cents,
okay.
but the rest of it gets divided up over whatever. It's the rake is the 30 cents off the top, so they
Yeah.
don't take it off each individual thing.
Like your PayPal fee.
Yeah, essentially.
all
But
right.
and for like the 90 tournaments, that's like you get paid down to like 19th place.
Hmm.
And they have and then they do it like normal tournament. I mean, it's the one I've played at is I've tried a couple different ones. I tried like Party Poker and a couple other ones. But the Full Tilt Poker one that they always
Yeah, you
advertise
always
on
see
or
it
whatever.
advertised.
Yeah, it's by far the best software. It's like by far the best system, except for when
I
I
wanted to try it online anyway, so maybe I'll try that one first.
you can do play money for it too. Although it's hard to play with play money because people don't care, so they'll just like bet like maniacs, and you end up with. I mean,
All
when
in, all in,
Yeah.
all in. Oh, Jesus.
with play money, I'm $90,000 ahead.
Yeah.
You know, so, those people are a lot tighter when they're playing with their own money. Surprise, surprise. So, but yeah, the really good software, except for the night when I first signed up and it went offline.
Bummer.
Damn it. But they have all their satellite tournaments and stuff, their monthly tournaments, and like the payout for number 1 on the monthly tournaments is $750,000. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
So-
That's impressive. There must be a shitload of people playing.
Yeah, they're like, well, that's like they're all different satellite tournaments throughout the month, and so they take the prize money from those because if you win that satellite tournament, then you get a seat at the
The
main
World
tournament.
Poker Table.
And so that money that everybody
tournament.
paid for that goes into the main tournament.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you always see there's like 1 or 2 people in the World Poker Tournament table, the final table, that are from some satellite somewhere.
yeah,
So you can see how popular it's getting.
well, I mean, it is really popular. I mean, it's a testament to how many people that suck are playing this, and the fact that I can almost make it to actually make some money off it. So,
Hmm.
but I mean, it's fun. And it's not Flash based, which is a plus.
Oh, hey, awesome.
So,
Is it
yeah.
all just HTML and JavaScript? And
No, it's got its own little fat client.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty neat.
Okay.
I didn't know people still made those.
I know. I was like, really? I have to download something? This is unusual. I feel so early 2000s.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for the podcast. Like Steve said at the beginning of the podcast, this is probably going to be the last podcast for at least a month.
I thought you said poker. I don't even know her.
Because Steve is moving, and it's going to take him a month to get reorganized, reassimilated.
Make his money
Rebuild
back.
the sound studio.
Yeah. Or, as I like to call it, buy a table.
Yeah. And then we'll have our epic show 69, which will have, 10, 20 people on it now?
Something or other. It's
getting
going to be
kinda
like the
out of
Council of
control.
Doom is going to show up.
Just have to cycle people out through the seats.
Pretty much.
And hopefully by the time that we get around to actually recording show 69, I'll have a good idea as to
How to do
actually
that.
it. Yeah.
Come back for show 69. Hentai, oh my.
I guess I should do the closing bit, huh?
Yes.
wanna close a
Well,
bit?
you can give it a try, I guess.
Just pull out your Korg DS10.
It's worked in the past.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for listening to Diehard Gamer Radio.
Thank you for listening to Diehard Gamer Radio. You can visit our website at diehardgamerradio.com and iTunes, or you can email us at diehardgamerradio@gmail.com.